Hi, good people, and thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Goody Be Knowing. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this channel so you can get live updates and alerts when we have new episodes, new content. It's all rolling in. Make sure you are the first one to find out when that happens. Come on and be a part of the family. Go ahead and hit it. It don't take nothing. Hit it. Yeah. Hey, welcome to another week of Goody Be Knowing. I am your lovely, gracious host, Goody, and this is a show where I talk about my life and how we grow and elevate in our big old age. Happy new week. Haven't seen y'all in a while. Been kind of under the weather. Trying to stay on top of my stuff and get back to the people. So, we have a new episode this week. It is so much going on in my life, so much to catch up on. I am extremely excited to always bring another new show, what I be knowing, more so like what I really be knowing and kind of getting it out to the world, but also like having conversations with other people and building this camaraderie in this new community of good people, or just people that's trying to be good. So, hey, welcome back. As you see, it is just, well, let's rewind this. There has been a lot going on, a lot of positive things. I think I kind of left off on like starting the end of the year very well and in a position to move and elevate, and a lot of things have come in the last 3 weeks. I know I constantly pray of consistency on this show and making sure that I get the opportunities to grow and step out. I know I'm going to have a lot more interviews coming up in the next couple of weeks. So just trying to record, get content, and then obviously the one-woman show, edit as much as possible. So for me, it's been a lot. It's been a lot to do. But, you know, God don't give you too much you can't handle. And really just feeling protected and kind of like seeing this vision. Hence why this week's episode is when you know better, you gotta do better. Because it's just like, I think at a certain point in our big old age, as I always say, that it's imperative that we really learn from our mistakes. I think the biggest thing that these 30s have shown me is what I told you to learn from in your 20s, because I'm extremely hard-headed and stubborn, and it takes me a couple times to go through the process and stay on top of my grind. But I think with that being said, for me, it's like, hey, I told you this lesson. I showed you this early. You didn't get it. And then I showed you probably again. You still didn't get it. Oh, wait. You think it ain't? Okay, now you're going to have to feel the wrath of this. And maybe in this structure, in this new way of how I present it to you, maybe you'll come with some legitimacy. Maybe you'll come with some like, hey, let's change the behavior. And so I think that's been the biggest lesson for me I would say just in the start of my 30s. Like, I have been placed in so many amazing positions. And I'm usually my number one downfall. I'm usually my one Achilles heel. I'm usually the person that takes me out of the position to be the most successful. And then it's like I get another opportunity, mess it up. Get another opportunity, mess it up. And it's like at some point, Goody, you're going to have to stop fucking up. Like, you got to have this come to Jesus with yourself about like how much self-inflicted wounds are you going to do that is going to deter you from your success. And I think my whole message of action, my whole message of self-reflection, you have to at some point take your own advice and take the mistakes you got on the test. Like, there's no way in the world you take a practice, you see what you did wrong, and go back, don't study, and don't go into the situation performing better. And then maybe there's gradual improvement, but the improvement that you need to conquer this lesson, this objective, probably takes more, and you haven't been doing that. And it's just like seeing things in hindsight, seeing things for 2020 vision. Like, you have clarity now on things, and that clarity is going to lead to you doing better, moving better. I tell my players this all the time on the court. Like, it bothers me when players see another player do a move once, okay, twice, okay, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, never changes what she does on the court, then I must be boo-boo the fool. We must not be seeing the same things. Like, there's no way that this player is doing whatever they want constantly, and usually it's 1 or 2 moves, right? And I'm always harping, like, make the adjustment. Make the adjustment. When you know better, you naturally do better, or you should naturally do better. And so this is not like a harping session of being perfect, and because trust me, nowhere near close to perfect. I don't even use that terminology in myself. So for me, it's just like, but I'm very observant. I'm very aware of the things that I do. I'm very aware of how I move. I journal, I reflect, I go back and read. You know what I mean? I do all those things. So it's like, at some point, I have to do better. There's too much knowledge obtained to constantly keep getting the same mistake and the same question wrong. And I had kind of been feeling like this for like the past few years of like, you climb up the mountaintop, you want to fall back into your old behavior, you want to do things that may not necessarily come easy, but you do things that are easy and of habit, and it doesn't it doesn't propel you to being the version that you need to be in that season. And it's like, man, I got enough old heads, I have enough conversations, and I think, you know, Mama Mac tells me all the time, and you know better, so when will you do better? When will you finally make the adjustment and the shift in whatever it is to get a different result? You keep ramming your head into the same wall over and over and over. They say the same action over and over and over, expecting a different result, is insanity. It's insane. And you know all those things of what you need to do better in. And I swear, if for women, probably in the hardest challenge is probably doing better, knowing that you need to do better for yourself in doing it, dealing with your partner or partners or whatever your situation is, and dealing with that appropriately for what's better. I will say the land of Delulu has existed because we have just not accepted the fact that we know what it is. And even when we know what it is, are we willing to cut that off? Are we willing to stop the interaction? Are we willing to change the behavior? Because at the end of the day, let me just tell you this, you ain't changing nobody. You will not force or make anybody change until they want to. Period. And in relationships, we definitely tend to seek out sometimes stable, great situations. Perfect. But sometimes we see like all these red flags, all these gaps, but this is just what we want at this moment, even though we know better. Even though we see the stupidity, the crazy, the wild, we will just not do better. I will say, personally going through it, it's enabling. It's like you're sitting there and you're like, I know I shouldn't fucking text this man. I know I should probably not interact with this person, but I want to do it anyway. And it's the 2 second, 3 minutes, 5 minute interaction, whatever that little bit of interaction, isn't going to be worth all of the bullshit that I've been going through. Is it going to be really worth all the stuff that I sit here and be like extremely pissed and infuriated about? Absolutely not. I know better. So now it's training yourself. Once you know better, how do you really do better? I think a lot of people say like, oh, if you know better, you should do better. But it's, how is it executed? I definitely say filling in time with what's important to you. It's always imperative. This is my number one saying, mind the business that pays you. Why are you texting somebody, or why are you reaching out to somebody who ain't reached out to you, ain't sought no desire to talk to you, have not changed their damn ways not one bit, but is your house clean? Some of y'all don't even got clean drawers on right now as I'm talking to y'all, as y'all watching this podcast, and y'all are worried about somebody else. You're obsessed with the thought process of it, right? You cannot control yourself. Some of y'all houses is not clean. Some of y'all business is not in order. Some of y'all got cavities that y'all done have for 7 years. Baby, let's just talk about it. When we think about the priorities and the things that are at the top of our damn list, or should be at the top of our list, they're usually not. They're usually not. And then I had to start talking to myself and saying, self, let's just get this understanding here. We have things to do. Is it really worth the time, the energy, more so the energy? As a spiritual person, it is crazy how strong and how dynamic energy is. If you know, you know. And that's why people say, oh, your vibe, I'm catching your energy. People say that all the time because it's a real thing. So now, if I'm wasting any type of negative energy on anybody or anything, is that really to the benefit of me? Is that to really benefit of my family? Is it to the benefit of what I'm trying to do? This does not have to just deal with people that you are intimate with or people that you choose to interact on that level with. This could be simply somebody at work. This could simply be somebody in your family. I am wasting all of this time, energy, why? Why am I doing this? What does it really pay me to constantly go back and forth with you? And this exchange is wearing. We should keep it up. This exchange is tiresome. And it's like, you sit here and you want to, be the best person. You want to, figure things out. You want to, add to the equation. But at the same time, you're like, hey, how do I really stay on my grind? How do I really put myself in position? How do I really, continue to work, continue to have this gumption notion that at the end of the day, I do know better. But how do I execute on being better? And it takes time, and you, again, like I said, back on track, scrolled out, back to you finding what is the top most important. And that's what I really started looking at. I am a big pros and cons, write this thing down. Let me see what outweighs one another, right? What am I really giving and what am I receiving? And if I'm giving too much without intention, purpose, or understanding, it's got to be dead. It's got to be cut the hell off. We can't keep, and it's not nothing disrespectful. I will say I probably have the awkwardest, weirdest relationships with people in general. That's associates, that's friends, that's family, that's anybody, right? Very Capricorn-esque, right? Very limited in trusting people, and it's hard for me to become friends with people because I don't trust people. And then when I do open up and try to say, hey, I'm going to just go in here blinded, willy-nilly, that never works out because my intuition is always right. That's hence the show. Goody be doing. So in my relationships with people, it's just, it's always a little awkward, right? And I think people take it so personal when I choose, or have been choosing this whole year, to just move in the essence of what it is. I think we talked about it a little bit, just redefining what's the name for people, how do we put people in certain categories, being more clear for me this year of what it is. I could say we have a working standing relationship where we can be cordial and maybe I engage with you because of work, or you are an associate It is very simple because my friend group is this big in reality. If it was an emergency, if I ran out of gas, popped my tire, whatever was going on, emotional stability, support, all these other things, that comes from a small group. So now going into this year, it's no negativity. If you thought we was all schmoozy, cool, blah, 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 fake, that's cool. But you won't get that in return. And it's nothing negative. It's nothing negative. It's just, I know better. Why would I put in the emotional investment into people that only like you on the surface? They only like you on social media. They only like you and hype you up when you post something or you post something provocative to them. But it's not constant everyday support. You know who everyday supports you. You know who is your constant few, especially as I am up on the rise and the growth of this. I see everything. I'm into everything. And I think a lot of, more in tune fans and like in tune people who do social media, who's in tune with their fans and their family. You know what I mean? I don't even see y'all as fans. I see y'all as family. Like, it's just crazy to me how you'll see the surface. You see who look at your story, but never comment on it. You see who, like, certain stuff, instead of taking it so personal, because I rock with people. If I say I rock with you, I'm going to be there. Maybe late, maybe some other things, but I'm definitely going to rock with you. If I don't catch one event, I'm going to catch the next one. There's nobody that can say I just flaked and dropped the ball and was a no-show, no call, and none of that. That's not the type of person I am. So I expect that in return. But guess what? People can't be you. You cannot expect people to give and what you give. It's just not going to happen. It's not a lot of people like you, hence the individuality, hence the uniqueness into you. You're not like other people. So when we talk about this and we have these conversations, it's like at a certain point, I rocked with people, so many people. I'm calling everybody my bro, everybody my girl, everybody my homie, everybody, man, yeah. This could be the smallest, most minute thing. We played against each other. Went to high school together. Oh, that's your homegirl. That's your homeboy. Nobody that I've said that to has really actually earned it. Some have, but the majority of, like, it's just a carefree word. Tossed around, thrown around. And then when you think about it in reality, it's like, no. Listen, I need some riders. I need some people that's really my good people. And it's not only when I'm up. I need people that really rock with me and check in, not only when it's up. People that get in the comments, support, and be engaged just like I am engaged in other people. But it's like, you can't think that people are going to match your energy. They're not. Period. So, with that being said, I think it's okay to respectfully move in every space that you do. I don't have to be schmoozy, fake, over the top anymore. Where I felt like that's how I had to interact. And that's what I'm saying. Knowing better, I have to do better for me. Whoever it impacts and however you receive it, really don't care. I mean, it sounds good to, like, think about everybody's feelings and give everybody closure and give everybody an explanation. But sometimes I just don't need to give you a damn explanation. I just don't. There's nothing that says I owe you anything. Because when it comes to me, it's not, they don't feel like they owe you anything. And it really be crazy to me with women. I think I've talked about this before. Like, it's just like, you could go not talking and invite somebody to your birthday. Weird. In our big grown age, don't do it. We don't rock. This is my birthday. I'm getting older and older. I may not have as many birthdays going forward. So at this point, if I'm going to celebrate me, I'm going to be around people that love me. I'm not going to have no flaky jakey dynamic. So trust and believe. If you don't get a response from me, again, it's not I'm acting brand new. It's just the reality of it is. And I'm not going to pretend. You already know who you are if you cut off, blocked, eliminated. It's not even a question. You already know why. Because I'm knowing better. So I'm going to do better. Regardless of how hard it is. No matter what is the obstacle. The challenge is holding more of yourself accountable. The challenge is not dealing with people. It's not putting people away and telling people off. It's more so, can you control you more and more every day? As I get older, it's just like the reality, the epiphanies, the things that I would cry and fight for and want more, it doesn't serve me. And as you notice things don't serve you more, you have to move in what serves you. Moving in your purpose. And there needs to be understand this. In you doing better, nobody deserves an explanation. You don't have to explain your why. You don't have to explain how it came about. You have no explanation deserved to nobody but yourself. And all of what I'm doing essentially is for self. As I grow and get better, naturally my kid will grow and get better. Naturally my family will grow and get better. Naturally the things that are putting me in my upright should benefit everybody around me. And as I am a healthy flower growing and hopefully in soil that grows everything else around me, naturally we have to what? Prune the dead plants. Cut off the infested seeds. Let it be known from the rip. We constantly prune and we constantly pick so that essentially everything that grows in that pot is successful. That is why knowing better, you have to. It's imperative that you do better because it is a ripple effect. I remember being in the South in college and like throwing rocks against the river or the lake, and it's a ripple effect. You can take the smallest pebble, but how it's thrown, the trajectory that it goes off of, if it's a good throw, because as an athlete, when it's a good throw and it's a bad throw. Right? When it feels a little bit off and then it feels a little bit right. Like, you know what I mean? You just kind of know. But as it happens, like you see the ripple effect, right? You see somebody jumped off the bridge and created a splash, and that splash can create a ripple effect to impact generations. Usually the best cannonballs go everywhere, right? It's the big ripple, it's the big splash, it covers generations. And so the skill sets that I'm trying to learn, I'm definitely taking notes and trying to do better, because you need the action part. It's now go execute. Once I receive the lesson, get the information, I must go execute on what I just learned. And make adjustments around the way. Make the adjustments, go back and study, get the feedback, get in the lab, throw something else out there, and recover. I have to move smarter and wiser because I know the playing field. Seen it before. It looks clearly. It's just like doing a level over and over and over and over on the video game. Once I do the level so many times, I know where this is. I know when this is going to come. I know when I'm a Mario girl. So I know when this is going to come. I know when I'm going to get to this point, I'm going to have to do this, and it's going to change up. And I'm going to have to go through this constant obstacle course to eventually get to the top. And guess what? Have to fight Bowser. And now I only got 3 lives to make it. And then I got to restart and do it again. And as you restart and do it again and lose and constantly lose, you learn how to do the obstacle course faster and you learn better ways to beat Bowser. Because you're what? Doing the action. I've already went through the test. Now I know I have to move a certain way. And everybody will move accordingly to you. Stop having to feel like I need to make a public service announcement to everybody in the world that I'm about to go ahead and make this move. You don't. They will watch your actions. Most people do anyway. We already know, lead by example. And the mouth can come afterwards. I always say there's 3 types of leaders. There's your ultimate leader who can talk and lead by example. Then there's a leader that can lead by example. And then there's a leader that just talks. Great spirit, great energy. Not that they just talk negative. but they may not always back it up with their action. Right? So you have to be a leader of action. We can minimize the talking. Rather you be a leader of action and learn how to develop the talk. It just makes sense. Because then if you want a certain thing, in your house. I want my kid to get up at a certain time. So every day, I wake him up at a certain time. Then it got to the point where he's older. He can set his own alarm. He wakes up at that time. This has been something that has happened since I was a kid because my mom wakes up at that same time. And so over time, that action just becomes a reaction. And it becomes second nature. So you don't gotta explain shit to nobody about nada. If you're asking me, like, I'm just gonna move and y'all are gonna see. Very simple. Not a lot of arguing here, not a lot of debate. I said what I said, and I'm moving how I'm moving. If you want me to say something and you want me to respond, I will choose how to. Because the power of the tongue is the most powerful weapon you have when you're moving in action. Because you will know. Sometimes the silence is the best response. I don't need, again, the exchange of energy. I don't need this constant like, hey, I gotta give somebody else validation to feel better because of... Oh, okay, that's what I thought. I don't have to. This is the biggest thing I feel like in my big old age I'm feeling. Everybody proclaims this like, I want to be an adult. I want to be an adult to be able to do whatever I want to do. But you actually become a herd who falls in line. You are not even thinking on your own. You're not even authentically yourself. You don't do anything yourself. You follow trends. You follow other videos. You are so afraid to step out of the box of what you know. Even if you do know that makes you feel better, but you disclose it because acting on what you know scares you. Because maybe people aren't going to like it. Maybe people aren't going to receive it. Maybe people aren't going to take me a certain way. I think I have authentically, and I still struggle with it, cleaning it up to make it appealing to what my purpose is. And I feel like if God keeps telling me to clean it up, then maybe I should clean it up and get it together. But I also want to be authentically myself. I don't want to pretend and be fake and, oh no, no. That's not kind of how I operate. I operate in a space of just being Goody. And my intentions, always set my intentions before anything I do are pure. Sometimes it's going to come out harsh because I know I have no other way to deliver this. Sometimes it can come out as soft and as nice and as sweet as possible because I've learned that that's what is needed when I need to present certain things. 99.999% of the time, though, I'm on 10 with it. And I think I kind of only turned my podcast down or my show down a little bit because I live, you know what I mean? I want to be respectful of everybody else in my complex. But at the same time, like, I know my energy, my passion, my drive for what I love to do, which is talk and run my damn mouth, is on 10,000. And it's not a problem for me to sit here and really look in the camera and be vulnerable and be open and be like, there's no problem for that. Now, if I'm confident in me, then I gotta work in that. Being consistent, holding myself accountable, not taking on too much because I do want to get out what I love, being authentically myself, getting on this mic, talking my shit. That's what I really want to do. So I have to match that with work. I know what I want to do. I know what makes me feel good. I know that I'm more than capable of being the talent that I need to be, but I have to constantly live in that. We live in this fear because, again, in the back of our mind, in our intuition, in our gut, it's telling us. Some of us dream about it. Some of us visualize about it. Some of us have been manifesting it, and we just don't know how to do better. We have been consuming all of this knowledge. I think this is the year of action. Period. You know all that you need to know, and if you don't, you've been studying, snooping, and just haven't collectively put it together. Because it's been knocking at your door, and been on your mind and been something you done wrote about, and something you done dreamed about, and something you done thought about, and something you told your friend, and it's coming out in so many different ways that at this point it's like, baby, what are you gonna do? Like, when are you gonna do what you need to do? Stop bull jiving around and let's go ahead and get on it. Because at the end of the day, my notion of being good to me, being good to myself, so therefore I can be good to everybody else. I can be good to the people that I trust, but also can be good to the world because I'm moving in my purpose, my vision, my alignment, and I know better. I know that people suffer all the time. They suffer in silence, especially people that look like me. We suffer in silence. So what do I need to be? This person that pops off, turns up, goes off on people, spazzing because I'm having a bad day, because something didn't go right my way, because I didn't go to sleep. Whatever it is it really deserving of giving it to somebody else? When you really need to pop your shit and you really need to turn up on people, y'all silent as hell. But then when we talk about, oh, just spazzing on no reason, then y'all are number one advocates. You guys are the number ones that's turning up and going crazy and doing like, what? Who does that? I talk about it all the time. When men are shooting a shot, hollering at women, doing whatever they do, right? I think there's a right way and there's a wrong way to do everything, obviously. And so if a man comes up to you and says just a compliment, which I've seen, just, hey, you're beautiful, you're gorgeous, man, I love your smile, hey, whatever, nothing provocative, nothing negative, just, hey, think you're gorgeous, think you're beautiful, think you're fine, whatever. Why does that offend women so much? Your own damn daddy don't even tell you you're beautiful, girl. And your mama think you're ugly as hell because she jealous. Like, I don't understand the negativity. And then, even if thank you, I appreciate that. It's nothing more, nothing less. It don't got to be nothing more, nothing less. But even when it's approached with like, oh, let me get your number, can I holler at you, da-da-da-da. Because I'm in a healing space and because I've been in this space for a while, I'm like, you know what? I'm not even in a space to receive or talk to nobody. And most of the time it's been good. Like, thank you. Your words today just brightened up my day. I appreciate that. Like, that little bitty notion has made such a different rapport. Where I've seen men and women get into full-blown arguments over a man just saying, hey, you're beautiful, hey, like, the response to it. And everybody's like, oh, men don't do it, men don't want to. And it's a lot of that. It's a lot of, like, once we get into the disrespect pace. But sometimes it's just being good to people. I'll hold the door open for somebody. Hey, have a great day. Giving somebody a compliment. Just being better to people because you know people need it. That's the whole point of, you know better. Do you really want to do better? It is so imperative for you to be an outward example of just what you want. Which is why it's so funny to me, like, Christians, and when they're coming up in the Baptist faith and all these type of things, it's like, okay, y'all are some of the rudest people and most disrespectful people, but then you scream all this being God's light and being God's image and be like this and be of people of the Bible who went through this, but all the people of the Bible wasn't shit. Raggedy. They all had a testimony. They all had a story. There all was a reason why they needed to be converted, changed in the light and in the image of God. There was a reason why, right? And then y'all walk around holier than thou, acting like y'all the kings and queens of the damn church. And in reality, you supposed to be given the most love, the most care, the most grace, the most mercy, because we already know you fall short every single day. So why would I not want to spread a little bit more kindness, a little bit more grace, a little bit more mercy, a little bit more love, just because I know better? It's all of the categories of your life. really watching this episode and listening and sitting with yourself and saying, hey, how can I do better? How can I improve in my life? How can I improve in my kids' life? How can I improve in my family's life? How can I, with what you make it? I'm not telling you to go and repair something that you ain't ready to repair, nor is the other person ready to repair. I'm not telling you to go out and do something that's damaging to your energy and that you ain't ready to work on. But in a space of, how can I just make this a little bit better? How can I make my workspace better? For me, who cares about the annoying person at work? Who cares about the raggedy so-and-so that ain't hitting you back? Who cares about that? In the spaces that I can control, that I'm involved in, how can I be better? Small, minute things to think about. But in reality, we know better in a lot of them. I know I need to stop studying late because I can't get past a C on my test, but when I study early, I get a B or I get an A, and I know that's the result, but I don't do it all the time. When you know, and then you kind of stumble and get it better and do it better, you want to make that know consistent. Consistent action, so then I can do what? Become a habit. I have to. And then it's just like, why did I go through all this? Why do I still keep getting my head bumped over and over and over again when all I had to do was move this way? And just stay there. My ADHD, nope, I want to move around. Move this way and just stay there. Move, and like, you know what it is that you want, that you desire, that you want to change, that you want to be better in. Like, you know. And this is to encourage you to just do. Stop having this. Come on now. I'm a Capricorn. Of course I'm analytical. Of course I'm an overthinker. Of course I need a logical plan. And if I do not, I don't function well. But some of the things that I'm doing is just stepping out on faith. That's the biggest thing of this. It's just stepping out on faith to be like, you know what? Kind of got a plan. Feel like this boat is sufficient. Think it's gonna make it through. I know I'm gonna have to need a little bit of ancestor, a little bit of spirit, a little bit of God, a little bit of my ingenuity, and my will and work ethic and faith. That if this is what I want to change, if this is what I want to display, if this is what I've been going through and learning, how do I show it better? I gotta take a little faith. Faith of a mustard seed. Like, come on now. Just a little bit. Because those little things can definitely impact and structure and change the dynamics of everything that you're trying to do, that you're trying to accomplish. You know, and I think, go back, watch the series, watch the episodes as they come. Like, trusting yourself, trusting your intuition, trusting your ancestral team, trusting your spirit guides, trusting God, trusting, having the faith that I know no matter what, if you planted it in my mind, it must be something that needs to come true. It must be something of my purpose. It must be something of intention. And then I'm going through all of this hell and high water. I'm just saying, if you had a shitty childhood, baby, and then spoiling your kids ain't gonna change it, but really diving into some of your hurts and some of your traumas and trying to make those things better. How we communicate, how we have dialogue, how we address certain things. Am I going to, in certain times, gentle parent, and in certain times, there's no damn handbook to this, but at least trying to break generational curses. You know those generational curses. So as you do you continue to make excuses and look at yourself like, you know, my mom fell short, I'm gonna fall short. My dad wasn't there, I'm gonna not be there. Like, when do you say, hey, nah, I want to change this? Because then now I know better, so therefore I do better. Damn. It's crazy to think about. It's crazy to even sit here and talk about this podcast because, again, the whole sense is Goody be knowing. And I really do be knowing. And guess what? I don't be acting on shit. I be knowing, I be thinking about it, I be dreaming about it, I be manifesting, I be visualizing. It's like everything, the signs, everything you can think of. And it gotta take me, as I've gotten older, damn near to get knocked unconscious, to be like, oh, okay, now I know what you meant, my bad. Whew, I'm back. Where when I was younger, I had a very short temper, very short fuse, very no nonsense. And I was able to get in new situations early, but guess what? I wasn't learning as fast as I was growing. And so now that's my prayers to God is like, baby, make me grow and make me act in what I know is to be better. Because what I was doing before, I bring some of that cutoff game, but with a little bit more knowledge, with a little bit more wisdom. Like, don't make me as compassionate to deal with the bullshit than compassionate and hardworking about dealing with what's real. That's why a lot of us can't have separators, because we live in this space of delusion. We don't live in reality, not even with our damn selves. When the last time you just sat by yourself? When the last time you was just quiet and meditated to yourself? When the last time you journaled by yourself? When the last time you just took self time to really reflect? And if you probably didn't do it for New Year, you probably should start thinking about it. We in new, it's a lot of new, it's been an amazing month of energy, a lot of new things going on. And I'm like, come on now. There's no way you can't take a little bit of self-reflection time to say, hey, this is all that I accumulated. And this is the crazy part. It's like a series. So this ain't accumulation over a year, 6 months, 30 days. This is an accumulation probably over the last 3.5 years for me of how do we know all of this shit. I know it makes me happy. I know it makes me thrive. I know it puts me in the best position. I know I have accumulated. I have had no choice but to accumulate hours on hours on hours about self. COVID, all of this time, you have had nothing but self-reflection time. And to say, I don't know how to do better, we gotta go back. We gotta do it one-on-one. You gotta hit me for some consulting, because at this point, there's a lot of things that you do know. That's why you start in what you do know. Starting your pros. What is the pros of all of this? What is benefiting me? What is helping me be the best me? Then, or you can start on what's taken away from you. Either way, you know something. So you need to move in the know. That's what we doing in 2024. Moving in the know. Because I already know what's ahead. I already know the bullshit. Especially when they're reoccurring characters. You already know this character's plot line. You will know the damn Game of Thrones character breakdown. Harry Potter. Birth chart. Geographical tree. What do they call it? Ancestral tree. You know Harry Potter's ancestral tree, but you don't know what you need to do better in your own life. There's a problem. If you know more about the baddies than you know about you and your family and your kid and what thrives and makes you be better, and that bum ass man you sleeping with that you don't know nothing about, that bum ass girl that you've been dealing with that you don't know nothing about, it is crazy to me. Crazy beyond measure. Okay? Tell my son this all the time. There's no way you know more about Dragon Ball Z than you know your ABCs. Simple as that. I want this schoolwork just as detailed, just as energized, just as broken down to the fact about Goku and all this other shit that he like. I want that same energy to your schoolwork, to your chores, to whatever your responsibilities. I want you to know like that. So if I know better, then I'm going to be what? Doing better. I promise y'all, good people, it is going to be so refreshing for you. And I definitely am going to challenge myself to definitely know better for me. Because I feel like if I just move in my know and stop acting like I don't know, I'll be better. I'll be better. And I know what it's going to get me every single time when I think about every single scenario. Now, there's some new environments that I'm stepping into that I don't know, but I'm leaning on faith in what I've already seen and visualized and manifested for myself. So that's different. But the things that I do know, even in those places, what I know I'm good at, I got to be excellent at. And even in what I don't know, it's just I'm getting an A for effort. And it's going to clean up as I go and learn more. Then I'm going to be doing more. Man, I love y'all good people. It's going to be an amazing year for us. Promise you, without a damn skiggity scat, no doubt about that. We really going to be up. But it's started by what you know. And it's not just Goody be knowing. Y'all be knowing too. Y'all be knowing. But we going to hold each other accountable. You feel me? We going to be better, not just for ourselves, but for everybody that touches us. Because once I get a gift and once I learn the game is to be told, not sold. I love y'all. I can't wait till I talk to y'all next week. I got a great big surprise. So we're going to have a bonus episode this week. It's just up, man. I got a lot going on. And again, we moving in our know. I think that's great. Moving in your know. Because when you know better, baby, you do better. Love y'all. Peace.